welcome everyone. This is an informational session regarding the special town meeting, which at present is scheduled to take place at 10 o'clock on Saturday morning in the same place where we had the annual town meeting, in the ball field, outfields behind the bandstand. However, we are all aware that the weather forecast for Saturday morning is not favorable. And so we are considering invoking our rain date, which is Sunday. There is no bad weather forecast at the present time for Sunday, although it is going to be a little cool in the morning. So we have not made that final decision yet. The weather in New England is variable, as you all know, so we're going to wait and make that decision tomorrow after we get an updated weather forecast. But unless things change, we probably will be postponing it until Sunday. If we postpone it until Sunday, it'll be the same place, 10 o'clock in the morning, same format as we used for the annual town meeting in the spring. The selectmen have lowered the quorum to 40 so that we can conduct the meeting with only 40 voters present. And we hope that we will have enough voters present to conclude the meeting. There are only 8 articles on the warrant, and so the meeting should go fairly smoothly. And this particular session is to allow people time to ask questions they might have about any of the articles that are on the warrant, or about the procedures that we're going to use. Basically, we're using exactly the same procedures as we used at the annual town meeting. We're going to have people seated, we hope, on the grass in the outfields, distanced, an appropriate distance apart. Microphones will be at the front, and people will be able to go up to the microphones, and they will be disinfected between speakers. And there are really no substantive changes that we anticipate at this point. If the ground is wet on Sunday, we may try to provide chairs in the parking area rather than having you sit on the wet grass, but we'll have to see how that goes as we get closer to the actual date. So without further ado, I think I'm going to go ahead and open up the information session to anyone who might have questions about either the procedures or the articles on the warrant. So let's take up first, are there any questions about the procedural situation? Okay, hearing none, we'll move on. Article 1 on the warrant. Sorry, I have to put on my glasses. Is to transfer money from the school stabilization fund to offset the property tax for fiscal year 2021. Are there questions about Article 1? Article 2.
Casey, isn't that Article 2? Article 1's the reports.
Oh, okay, you're right. Now I haven't, I'm sorry. Thank you for pointing that out. I haven't heard about any reports. Does anyone know of anyone who's making reports? No? Okay, well, if anyone knows of someone who wishes to make a report, please ask them to contact me through the town manager so that I'll know to include them under Article 1, and I won't skip it at the actual town meeting. So Article 3 is to amend certain line item budget articles, so certain line items. Some are increases and some are decreases. The details are outlined in the Finance Committee booklet. And unless there are questions, I won't go through them individually, but are there questions about the amendments proposed to our appropriations from the annual town meeting under Article 3? Okay. Article 4 is to see if the town will transfer $220,000 to reduce the current tax rate. Are there any questions about that article? Article 5, in anticipation of water department revenue, to appropriate $14,920 for insurance.
Casey,
Yes.
going back to Article 4, I think it's important to make it known that the funding source for that article is the release of the overlay from the assessors. So just so that people know that's where that money is supposed to come from. This is money that was set aside in order to pay for abatements, but it's now excess. The Board of Assessors determined that they could release it, and that's where that money is becoming available. So it's not being taken, obviously, from taxes or something like that.
Thank you. Any questions about that? Comments? Article 6 is to purchase a new dump truck. Nope. Article 7 is to extend the sunset clause for the purchase of the fire department rescue vehicle, as that purchase was not made before the sunset clause, the original sunset clause would have kicked in. Are there any questions about that? No. And Article 8 is a group of zoning bylaw changes involving use of properties in areas A, B, and C districts. And there are a number of them, so if there are questions, we'll take them up as the questions arise. Okay, so since there were no questions on any of the particular articles, those of you who are attending, please feel free to unmute yourself and ask whatever question you might have, or whatever statement you might have. Well, hearing nothing.
Cacophony.
Yes, it was cacophony. I'm not shocked, because I think the warrant is very straightforward, and the proposed articles are very clear, and everyone should be able to interpret them very well. So I'm not shocked that there are no particular questions or comments. However, if there's anyone who still has a question or comment, or thinks of one later on, please feel free to contact Town Manager Angus Jennings, or the Town Council Mike McCarran, or the Board of Selectmen, or myself, and you can get your question answered right up until town meeting. If you do decide to change the time from Saturday morning, where rain is forecast, to Sunday morning, there will be a lot of notification going out by reverse 911 on websites, on social media, probably in the Newburyport Daily News, and any other way that we can get the word out that the meeting has been postponed until Sunday, and we will make that decision tomorrow. So I hope that everyone has a nice evening. This was certainly short and sweet. Does anyone else have anything that they'd wish to add?
We did have a couple of people just jump on in the last 2 or 3 minutes, so I don't know.
Okay.
Carol Becker or Wendy Reed, if either of you have questions or comments, or anyone else.
I hope everyone knows that you need to unmute yourself if you wish to say something. There's a microphone, a red microphone with a line through it if you're muted. And if you wish to say something, you just need to click on that and it will unmute you.
Yeah, I don't have any questions. I just want to let you know I had a hard time getting onto the meeting. I don't know if other people have had trouble getting on.
What was the trouble?
It just, the Zoom wouldn't open. I had to log out and log back in several times. So just for your information.
You know, Wendy, actually, you make me very happy, because not associated with town meeting, but we have several family Zoom meetings that we participate in. And I had a long string of not being able to let anybody into any meeting. And of course, I assumed it was me. So it's nice to know that other people also have trouble with it.
I'm not going to admit what my problem was.
Well, we can always just chat for a few minutes and wait and see if anybody else logs on. It's only 6:14, so it's possible that people would think that we would still be discussing things and might want to log on later.
Casey, I didn't come on until, I don't know, 7 or 8 minutes after the start.
Right.
And I don't know what went on before I was there, of course. So was there any discussion of the, and Mike, tell me if I'm speaking out of bounds here because we're not in town meeting yet, but was there any discussion of the intention to have an amendment to the motion on the light item budget modification, or is that totally inappropriate to even suggest that now?
Well, there was no discussion on that. And I personally don't know what you're talking about.
Good, I was successful.
Yeah, I guess as an advance notice is that one of the items in the line item budget is to put aside a set of money in order to purchase a 5-year warranty plan for the electric charge stations, which have been approved at the last town meeting. But in order to have a 5-year contract, because usually towns are limited to 3-year contracts, is we can with the approval of town meeting. So the expectation is that there will be a hold on that line item. And that an amendment will be made that will essentially say to authorize the town to enter into a 5-year warranty plan in connection with this expenditure.
So there's no change in the money. It's just to add the clause to enter into a 5-year warranty.
It's just to give authorization to enter into a 5-year.
And the original money was appropriated to purchase a contract for service, as I recall.
That'll be the town share to install the electric vehicle charging stations, which is a steeply subsidized amount due to the National Grid grants that were awarded. The piece that the June town meeting did not approve was the warranties associated with the charging stations. So that's what this separate funding is proposed for this weekend to fund the warranties. And as Mike said, we can't enter a contract longer than 3 years without town meeting approval. So that's where Mike has circulated language recommending for a hold to be placed and for the motion to explicitly provide that authorization.
Well, it certainly sounds as if it's in the purview of the original article, since it's a requirement
Right.
for that contract.
We could do a shorter term warranty, but it's financially advantageous to take the 5-year.
Rick, did you have some discussion about this, or?
No, the explanation from Mike and then Angus, I think, was perfectly adequate. I don't really have anything more to add to that. I just thought this was an opportunity to flesh that out a little bit in advance of town meeting in case anybody had specific questions.
That was good, thank you. Let's see. We still have 14 participants. And
in other news, I just also stress that early voting commences this Saturday at 2 p.m., 2 to 4, and then Sunday from noon to 3. And then it continues until October 30th. And all the hours and the schedule is on the town clerk page of the town website.
oops.
So I predict that there'll be a line at 2 o'clock.
We have plenty of opportunities. We've mailed close to 1,400 vote by mail ballots. They're already in the mail. We have our percentage of mailed for applications is 99.5%.
Hmm. Well, I think we haven't had any change in the participants in the last 5 minutes anyway. And anyone who does have questions who was not able to participate tonight, please feel free to call any of the local of your town officials to get clarification on anything that you would like to get clarification on. And we will get the word out tomorrow if we decide to invoke the rain date and have the meeting on Sunday instead of Monday. And unless there's an objection, I think we might as well just say good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Thanks.
Right, thank you.
Bye.
And
Thanks, Casey.
Thank you.
Thank you, Casey.